there, folks. Your friend John Justice here. I wanted to chime in and offer my opinion or my perspective on a question that came up in Balloon Twister Central the other day related to balloon jams. So I wanted to offer what I think is the most simple answer to what a balloon jam is. I think a balloon jam is a collection of balloon artists, us getting together to do something balloon related. Now, if I can offer, I think that some of the confusion behind what is a balloon jam comes from what people are expecting, and people use the term jam fairly loosely. For example, there are some formal jams that are that feel more like conventions, and you have to pay for those experiences. I wrote a couple of them down. For example, formerly the Florida Super Jam, the Bling Bling Jam is another popular one, Florida Balloon Jam, the Pop-Up Jam, Oz Jam is another former jam as well, and then even more. So I think that's kind of the maybe confusion behind what is a balloon jam and what happens at them. Those are very formal jams, and those feel more like conventions. So I'm hoping that I can separate what those experiences are versus a standard people just getting together. So separating what a convention or that formal balloon jam, what that is, setting that to the side. What happens at a balloon jam? Well, a variety of things can happen at a balloon jam. Typically, people will bring balloons and they will make designs, or they will offer designs, or we can brainstorm ideas. Sometimes they're just masterminding, which is a fancy way of saying professionals getting together and talking about frustrations or business practices. Typically, it's around food or drinks, or sometimes even a balloon store itself. I used to attend the Mayflower Jam years ago when that was going on, and so you could show up at the balloon store and buy products. I think All American Balloons used to have a jam as well, Omaha Balloons. So you could show up at a location and then purchase balloons and then hang out in the back room, with local artists and jam. Now, I think there's, again, a little confusion. Even with the local smaller events, some of them are more class style, where they will offer a tutorial or a lesson, but not all jams are like that. So again, I think that's where the confusion comes from. When jams are held at a local spot outside of someone's house, which there are jams that do happen in the residence of artists' homes, but when they're held typically at a restaurant or at a brewery, which, that's where we host a jam, or at a balloon vendor or distributor, anywhere that has a business, it's pretty common knowledge or regular practice to support that business in some way. Buy a drink, buy a meal, even if maybe you're not a drinker yourself, the restaurants or the venues typically will have other options that you can support them. This will ensure that our host business will have us back in the future, and it helps to, of course, support local businesses. And it keeps rapport, at a really good high level, especially the fact that we are taking some of their space, sometimes, valuable space. And, we can be a loud, rowdy bunch, so it's very helpful. My recommendation would be, if you don't know what your jam is looking like, contact the host. That way you can just be really clear with them as far as what to expect from the jam, if you should bring balloons or not. Again, those formal balloon jams that you're going to, you don't really need to bring anything. If you go to Bling Bling Jam, there's going to be a jam room there. There's going to be lots of products. There's going to be lots of classes, and that's all included in the price that you're paying. But if you go to a local balloon jam, it's pretty common practice to bring your own balloons. Sometimes you don't bring balloons because you don't plan on making anything. Sometimes I've brought my bag and I haven't made a single design. So it's just really up to you. Now, there's lots of unwritten rules that people have really not really identified or spoken to in the past. social rules, things that are socially acceptable or not acceptable to do at jams. And I don't really want to talk about that right now. Maybe we'll do a future video. But jams can be anything essentially that you want them to be. So if I'm going to leave you with the last few ideas or notes, if you're unsure what your jam is going to be, reach out to the host. They can let you know whether it's going to be a class, whether it's more of a social event, if there's going to be balloons provided, or if you need to bring your own. Is it more of a mastermind? Are we just getting together just to hang out and talk business? So reach out to your host. I hope that offered a little bit of perspective and what I expect to, get from jams when I go. I hope this short time helps for you to better understand what a balloon jam could or could not be, and encourages you to connect to your local balloon jams, wherever those might be. Thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see you later. Bye.